To all the non-believers, I'm making non.
What's up, y'all? This is Jay Varsity, and welcome to episode 73 of NBA Talk. I know the NBA has been kind of slow lately, but with the schedule release and news hasn't really been coming out. Little signings here and there. But like we gotta cover some topics, whether it's small news or when people want to do their rankings list and all that. But that rankings list thing I feel like it's getting a little played out on YouTube because I was gonna do my own little ranking system, but it's kind of giving me a headache because I felt like if I left a certain team out, I feel like people will get at me in the comments and all that. So I said I wasn't gonna do that. But anyway, let's cover some of this NBA news. I want to start with, man, the DeMarcus Cousins injury that was announced yesterday. DeMarcus Cousins is official diagnosis. He tore his ACL, and I can't help but feel bad for him because he's just trying to come back into the NBA and get back to being his old self, and it's just becoming a mission over and over and over again. It's like every time he thinks he's gonna take a step forward, he takes a few steps back. Between rupturing his Achilles, then hurting his knee in the playoffs, then in an off-season training workout, he bangs knees with somebody else and ends up tearing his ACL. It's becoming very, very unfortunate for DeMarcus Cousins. He's starting to develop a little bit of bad luck when it comes to these injuries because I don't know. It's just like you starting to get concerned about whether if he could maintain health for a certain period of time. But I hope for the best. I hope he comes back, and I hope he comes back stronger, and I hope he maintains his health. Like I said in any previous video, I don't like to wish injuries on people. It's very unfortunate that when you play a sport that you love and you just keep getting hurt, it must be demoralizing. But I'm hoping, praying that he gets better, gets healthy. I wish for the best with DeMarcus Cousins. I hope he somehow makes it back in the season because God knows the Lakers also need that depth. But aside from just team-wise, I'm talking personal-wise, I hope he just gets back to being somewhat of that player that he was before he ruptured his Achilles. Like, we all wish that for DeMarcus Cousins because it's just so sad how things have turned around in a matter of 2 years. DeMarcus Cousins went from being one of the most dominant centers in NBA history to struggling to even getting a roster spot because of one bad Achilles injury. It's so crazy how much the league can turn on you after one bad injury. It's like DeMarcus Cousins shows shades of that dominance that he has, and I think he still can get back to that. It's all about it's just gonna take a lot of patience from his part. The process is obviously gonna be a lot slower because that I feel like personally he rushed that Achilles injury. I feel like he rushed coming back from that Achilles injury. I feel like if he would have came back in the time of maybe March or even February, to tell you the truth, it made a greater difference. He would have been a lot healthier. I just felt like the doctors he was working with I just felt like they rushed it, like, because they knew he's basically playing for a contract at that time with Golden State, because they knew Golden State wasn't going to re-sign him. So he's basically playing for a contract, and DeMarcus Cousins, they just thought for his own benefit, if they could get him on the court as quick as possible, maybe he could showcase his talent again, and maybe teams will start throwing offers his way. But unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. It didn't work like that, and I just hope for the best. I just hope for DeMarcus Cousins to get healthy again because he was one of my favorite players to watch, especially when it comes to big men. When it came to DeMarcus Cousins, Joel Embiid, Nikola Jokic, DeMarcus Cousins went before the Achilles injury. Obviously, was one of the best centers in the league. I don't even think I need to repeat that again. It's just, it was just that dominance that he had on the floor. Hoping for the best. Um, the this whole thing with Tyronn Lue, potentially, or maybe he has already signed to be the assistant coach of the Los Angeles Clippers, reuniting with Doc Rivers, is people are trying to say like, oh, the Clippers are trying to like find out more about LeBron's tendencies and all that. Listen, if you don't know LeBron's tendencies by now, just even go to these NBA breakdown videos on YouTube and you can see what LeBron does on the floor. But it's easier to watch than to actually prevent the because you don't know what LeBron is thinking at that moment, and you don't know if he's actually gonna do that move or make that pass or do this maneuver. It's not as easy as people think. So just the fact that they're signing Tyronn Lue to be the assistant coach, they think, oh, that they got LeBron figured out already. Hello, I don't think so. But like I can understand from a strategic standpoint why they're gonna sign Tyronn Lue. I can understand that, because offensively he did utilize that Cavs roster in 2016 a lot better than David Blatt did. He did use Kyrie a lot better than David Blatt did. He did know how to utilize the big three with LeBron, Kyrie, and Kevin Love. And as much as they say LeBron is a coach, Tyronn Lue really did draw up some good plays when he was with that 2016 Cavs team. He did draw up some good plays. Like Tyronn Lue is very underrated on all when it comes to how great of an offensive coach he can be. So as an assistant, to me this should help. This is gonna help the Clippers when it comes to being on the offense. Now defensively, that's all Doc Rivers. That's all Doc Rivers. He preaches defense. So I could take it from that standpoint. But yeah, for people trying to say that the Lakers are gonna regret not signing Tyronn Lue, I was at first thinking the same thing when they were negotiating with Tyronn Lue, because I don't feel like 3 years would have been fair, because I think they were just trying to exactly match LeBron's contract with how many years was left on his deal. But again, you're talking to a champion. You're talking to a championship coach who helped, who was part of one of the greatest comebacks in NBA history. But then you're combining a great offensive mind with a great defensive mind like Doc Rivers, who also won a championship with the Boston Celtics. So I'm pretty sure they're gonna know how to maintain this level of talent that they got on the Clippers. Yeah, but the NBA schedule released already, and then even the preseason schedules are being released already. The people are already trying to give their predictions on the LA rivalry and all this other stuff. The Stephen A. Smith made his prediction that the Lakers are going to win the NBA championship. I still have somewhat of the same mindset that the Lakers are going to win the championship, but I have to see on paper how, well, not on paper. I have to see in an actual game how this team plays together, and like I said, that DeMarcus Cousins injury is just devastating. But hopefully he comes back stronger than ever. And who knows? Maybe he might even come back in the postseason. Who knows? But you can only hope, right? Um, but yeah, you have people are talking about who has the greatest storyline coming in to the NBA season, and a lot of people, well, not a lot of people, more like PJ Tucker. PJ Tucker is already saying that the Houston Rockets have the greatest storyline, and of course, maybe other people agree too. because too many people have their opinions about Russell Westbrook and James Harden, that they're not successful, that they only just like being the guy and all that. So who knows how this is gonna work out? And I don't. When it comes to storyline wise, I think everybody's just gonna be so focused on the Battle of LA because the two best teams in the Western Conference are quite frankly gonna be the Lakers and the Clippers. And what would make people's perfect scenarios, they say they would want the Battle of LA to be the Western Conference Finals. But honestly, when it comes to the Houston Rockets have the potential to be one of the best offensive teams in the league. They have the potential to be one of the best offensive teams in the league. And then just the addition of Russell Westbrook, you're adding more of a defensive edge to the Rockets because Russell Westbrook, we could say what we want about him. He puts 110% into all his effort. So I don't like the criticism of Russell Westbrook either. I think it's a little unfair because people are always saying that Russell Westbrook is a ball hog and all this other stuff. Well, excuse me, I think we've seen worse ball hogs than Russell Westbrook. Like, I think we've seen worse. And yes, I've had my opinion on why Russell Westbrook won't fit with the Houston Rockets, but I could be a little optimistic, and I can contradict myself every once in a while because the Houston Rockets, I do have to remember they've they've worked with less. I mean, when James Harden was running at point, I mean, the guy had put up MVP numbers in 2017. But it all depends on also the shooting of Russell Westbrook. If he can get to at least somewhat of how he shot in 2016, then I'll say that the Rockets are in okay shape. I know I'm a little late with this, but I, another hot take from Max Kellerman, and I don't know if I should do an NBA rant on Max Kellerman's takes for like the past week or so. I got so irritated when I heard this. He said, and I quote, that if Kevin Durant gets an NBA championship with the Brooklyn Nets, he'll be put into that Michael Jordan conversation. Okay, slow your roll. Like, I couldn't believe what I just heard. Like, I couldn't believe what I heard. He's saying, and I quote, that Kevin Durant has a chance to surpass LeBron and get into the Michael Jordan conversation if he wins one championship with the Brooklyn Nets. Excuse me. You're gonna tell me a guy that was with the team that he got drafted with for 9 years leaves them after blowing a 3-1 lead, and he was even a number one seed in 2013, was unsuccessful to get to the finals since 2012 until he got to Golden State, and then he joins Golden State to play with the two greatest shooters in NBA history, when it was just basically unfair for anybody else in the league. Not like nobody could stop that team. And then he leaves the Golden State Warriors, and all you're telling me is that Kevin Durant, all he has to do is win one championship with the Brooklyn Nets, and he's in the Michael Jordan conversation. When Kevin Durant, I'm sorry, as much as I felt bad for his Achilles injury, he has gotten a free ride when it comes to his Golden State run. Like, I don't believe for 1 second, not for 1 second in the world, that Kevin Durant received as much hate as LeBron did during his time in Miami. In the Miami Heat, when it was LeBron, D Wade, and Chris Bosh, everybody in the league, every fan base wanted to see Miami lose so bad Now that was hate that every other fan base besides Miami Heat fans, including Miami Heat fans, myself, then they wanted to see Miami lose so bad. It was like how I just couldn't. It was just something unbelievable to watch. How much hate people had for the Miami Heat, and it was like for the Golden State Warriors, people they didn't people didn't like Golden State, but at the same time, it was like at the same time everybody grew to love them. And it was like, and it frustrated me. Even ESPN, they grew to love Golden State, and even they didn't show as much love for the Miami Heat. Because even the MVP voting, which Derrick Rose deserved, by the way, they purposely didn't vote for LeBron for his decision to go to Miami. But like I said, it's LeBron received so much hate. Even his return game to Cleveland, his first year in Miami, was horrible. That 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 was such a hostile crowd. Like you had to hear how loud the boos were every time LeBron touched the ball. It was like Kevin Durant went back to OKC, and it was like you heard boos and all that. Yeah, you heard that, but at the same time, you're like, I hear people cheering for Kevin Durant every time he has the ball, and and then it went from boos to cheering every time the Golden State went to an arena. Like Golden State, people grew to like them, and in Miami, everybody grew to hate them even more. It was like, and forget the fact when Miami Heat were the champions at the time, they hated Miami even more at that time. Look how bad everybody wanted the 2013 Heat to end their 27 game winning streak. Look how bad they wanted that to end. Like I've never saw so much hate during that time in the Big 3 era of Miami that people genuinely just always wanted to see the Heat lose. And then Golden State, it's like ESPN, they wanted to see Golden State succeed. I remember there was a segment on what's this ESPN show? I think it's with that Rachel Nichols woman. I can't remember. They had a segment on her show where, oh yeah, The Jump. They had a segment on The Jump, and they were asking if how bad they wanted Kevin Durant to leave the Golden State Warriors, and I remember Tracy McGrady saying, please leave," like every one of us again asking Kevin Durant to leave the Golden State Warriors. And I remember I forgot what this woman said. She said that she wanted to see Golden State stick together because she wanted to see how many titles they could win together. People, nobody wanted to watch basketball as much when Golden State had Kevin Durant and Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. Like the 2018 finals had the worst ratings I've ever seen. That was the worst finals I had ever seen. And then even 2017, they tried to hype up that finals at the same time, and then it turned out to be if damn near, forget gentleman's sweep. That was a blowout. I know the Cavs tried their hardest, and they won that game 4 by putting up the most craziest shooting numbers ever. But you just had that feeling like Golden State was not gonna lose more than one game. So yeah, it was just it for me to hear that for me to hear this woman say that she wanted the Golden State to stay together to see how many titles they could win together. You must really love watching stuff on repeat. That was just absolutely frustrating to hear. But yes, people grew to like Golden State, and when Miami split up, people were happy as hell when Miami split up. People were happy as hell when the Miami Heat split up. They weren't devastated that LeBron left the Heat. They were happy as hell that he went back to Cleveland. I was devastated. I remember I don't think I watched a thing of sports news when LeBron left Miami Heat. As a matter of fact, I hated LeBron for like a good week. I think I hated LeBron for a good week when he left the Cleveland, cause I still don't like the Cleveland Cavaliers as a franchise. I still don't like how Cavs fans treated him when he left Cleveland. I still don't like the things that they said about him and how much hate that he got. It was just very frustrating. And to me, Kevin Durant has not received that same amount of hate that he went through. He could talk about what people have said on social media and about him and all that. Whatever. Like, I still have not seen a hostile crowd boo Kevin Durant like they booed LeBron James. I still have not seen that for nothing in the world. And so, Kevin Durant to me still has not gone through the hardship of having to deal with so much hate and people wanting him to lose. You could say, oh, people wanted him to lose in 2017 and all that. They wanted him to lose, but was he really going to lose? Was he really going to lose? That's why I don't know. His 2017 finals performance is one of the most overrated ones in the 2010s because of the fact he had so much talent around him, and then you try to add in the fact that and make an excuse all that how many people wanted him to lose, but was he really going to lose? Ask yourself that. Was he really going to lose when he had the two best shooters in NBA history and a Defensive Player of the Year, Draymond Green, on that roster, all in the peak of their prime? Like, come on, bro. Like, I think we could all say that he was not gonna have that he didn't have that much pressure on him. I remember how happy people were when the Heat lost to the Mavericks in 2011. Oh my God, I couldn't talk for nothing in the world for like a good 3 months. I didn't want to talk about the finals for like a good 3 months because all I got was people making fun of me, and I stood quiet. I stood quiet the entire time because, you know, I talked a bit of smack in 2011. I thought we was gonna win the championship and everything, and then when we lost to the Mavericks, I was devastated. I stood quiet. I stood very quiet, but I've never heard so many people say that they were happy that they were that happy that the Miami Heat lost. Like, I just couldn't. That irritated me. That really irritated me. So it's like now people when they see the Golden State era finally lost the finals, it's like, oh my God, what can we talk about besides Golden State? Like, I was happy as hell that Golden State lost. I was devastated that Kevin Durant got injured in the process, but were you not rejoiced that Golden State finally lost? Were you not happy as hell that Golden State finally lost? Come on, bro. But yeah, I didn't hear nobody saying, oh, finally Kevin Durant lost the finals and everything, because obviously they can't, because he was hurt. But like I said, I have not seen Kevin Durant go through that hardship, that type of adversity in any of his championship runs, which I still say he doesn't have any. I still don't think Kevin Durant has a championship. And for you to tell me that all he has to do is win one championship to be in the Michael Jordan GOAT conversation, that's disrespectful to the people who are in the conversation, like LeBron and Kobe. Like, that, to me, that's very disrespectful. I find it disrespectful, and I find it very annoying how they're trying to shove Kevin Durant into the GOAT conversation and trying to throw it into our face constantly. Like, bring up some real facts. I understand Kevin Durant is one of the greatest scorers that we've ever seen, but his resume does not add up to a GOAT conversation. His resume of leaving his team being up 3-1, blowing a 3-1 lead and then joining a team that went 73-9 the previous season does not qualify him to be in the GOAT conversation. I'm sorry. We could agree to disagree, but I obviously disagree with that statement. I believe he's going to need to win more than one championship to be in the GOAT conversation. Like, because if LeBron had to win 3 championships and one of them had to be coming back down from 3-1 that to be in the GOAT conversation, then Kevin Durant has to do something of the same pedigree. Or maybe even more, because to me he still hasn't shown the hardship of having to deal with winning a championship without having such an overly stacked roster. If he could win a championship with Kyrie Irving in Brooklyn, yes, to me, it's a more respectful championship than any he's gotten with Golden State, but not enough to be in the GOAT conversation, okay? Not enough. Okay. That's enough on that topic. Now let's talk about this, okay? And this is really starting to frustrate me. How on earth does Patrick Patterson have a job on a roster and Carmelo Anthony doesn't? This is really starting to tick me off with Carmelo Anthony not being signed. Carmelo Anthony, when in his time in the Houston Rockets, was putting up some great numbers. Now, I'm not telling you that he's going to play like 2013 Melo, who won the scoring title and everything, but Carmelo could be a very valuable player on a championship roster. Like, I don't understand how Patrick Patterson, who averaged 4 points a game in OKC last season, he averaged 4 points a game. How does he go from OKC to the Clippers? How is he getting on a championship roster and he averaged 4 points a game, but yet Melo, who could be a very prolific scorer, who is a very talented basketball player, how is he all of a sudden not on a championship roster? How is he not on a roster? Now, I did hear rumors that he was attending workouts with Nets players in Los Angeles. Now, does it mean that the Nets are probably going to sign Melo or at any time soon? It's not confirmed. There's no hints about it or anything. But to me, it's just infuriating. It is just infuriating how Melo does not have a spot on the roster. And to me, the Lakers just need to pull the trigger already. The Lakers just need to pull the trigger already. It is absolutely annoying. The Lakers need enough firepower as is. They need another piece coming off the bench, and especially now with this DeMarcus Cousins injury, they need as much firepower as they can get. And I believe LeBron utilizing Melo to the best of his ability, I feel like with his passing, he'll find Melo in the best spots on the floor. And to me, Melo would just thrive. I'm tired of people saying that LeBron makes great players worse. Screw that statement. Screw that statement. I really can't stand it no more. I really can't stand it. Like I don't hear nobody else. I don't hear nobody else making any other statements about people being bad teammates besides LeBron and Russell Westbrook. But yeah, it just pisses me off that a guy like Patrick Patterson, guys like Chandler Parsons, they're in the league making money, and then a guy like Melo, who basically was fired in his words, and I'm believing it too, that he basically got fired from the Houston Rockets for the dumbest reason on planet Earth, that they didn't need, that his services weren't needed. Like, I don't understand. I really do not understand. Like, now that I've let out my frustration, that's all the topics we're gonna cover for today. We'll see when the preseason starts. I'm not saying that the next time there's a video is gonna be preseason, but I'll try to cover as much content as I can. the videos might not come uh, at the same days, but I'll try to put out one once a week. But yeah, that's it. That's all. This is your boy Jay Varsity. Like, comment, subscribe if you like basketball content, and I am out. Peace.